Welcome to Tales for Talking, your friendly English learning podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Jack. Today, we're diving into something super exciting: how to boost your creativity.
We'll explain everything in clear, simple English. Remember, you can pause anytime to practice with us.
All right, let's kick things off with my favorite creativity technique, the what if game. You know, I actually discovered this when I was stuck writing a story last year. I was sitting in my favorite coffee shop, completely blank, when I started looking around and asking myself crazy questions. What if that laptop suddenly started floating? What if everyone in here could read minds? Before I knew it, I had tons of story ideas.
Let me break down what Jack just shared. The first technique is asking what if questions about everyday situations. This helps you think differently about normal things. New expressions. Kick things off means to start something. Blank in this context means having no ideas. Now it's your turn. Look around where you are right now and try to think of one what if question. Pause the podcast and try it. Here's an example answer. What if my chair could talk? What stories would it tell?
Our second technique is something I call random connections. Last month, I was trying to design a new logo for my friend's bakery. I opened a magazine, picked two random things, a butterfly and a mountain, and challenged myself to combine them. The result? A beautiful mountain-shaped cake with butterfly wing decorations.
Jack is describing a technique where you take two unrelated things and try to connect them in new ways. This helps create unique ideas. New expressions. Pick here means to choose. Combine means to put things together. Your turn. Think of two random objects and try to create something new by combining them. Pause now. Example answer. A book and a flower could become a library where books grow on trees.
Moving on to our third technique, something I absolutely love called reverse engineering. Get this: last week, I was trying to solve a problem at work about improving our team meetings. Instead of asking, how can I make meetings better? I flipped it and asked, how could I make this the worst meeting ever? The answers were hilarious. Everyone checking their phones, no agenda, people interrupting. Then I just did the opposite of everything on that list.
Jack is explaining reverse engineering, looking at a problem backward. Instead of trying to find a solution directly, you first think about how to make something worse, then do the opposite. New expressions. Get this means listen to this interesting thing. Flip it means to reverse or change something to its opposite. Let's practice. Think about something you want to improve. First, how could you make it worse? Pause now. Example answer. To make my study habits worse, I could study with loud music, no breaks, and try to learn everything at once. So the opposite would be quiet environment, regular breaks, and focusing on one topic at a time.
Our fourth technique is the Five Senses Explorer. You know how we usually rely so much on sight? Well, this technique helped me become a better cook. I started closing my eyes and really focusing on the other senses, the sizzle of the pan, the smell of spices, the texture of ingredients. Now I create much more interesting recipes.
This technique is about using all your senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch to explore ideas differently. New expressions. Rely on means to depend on something. Sizzle is the sound of something cooking. Your turn. Close your eyes and describe something using all 5 senses except sight. Pause the podcast now. Example answer. A cup of coffee. I hear the liquid pouring, smell the rich aroma, feel the warm cup, taste the bittersweet flavor.
And for our final technique, here's something I call time travel perspective. Yesterday, I was stuck on a design project, so I asked myself, how would someone solve this 100 years ago? How might people handle this 100 years in the future? It totally changed my thinking. I ended up combining old-school craftsmanship with futuristic elements.
This technique involves thinking about your problem from different time periods, past and future, to find new solutions. New expressions. Stuck on means having difficulty solving something. Old school refers to traditional methods. Time to practice. Choose a modern problem and imagine how people would solve it in the past or future. Pause now. Example. Answer. Modern problem. Digital communication overload. Past solution. Designated meeting times and handwritten letters. Future solution. AI filtering and holographic presence.
Before we wrap up, here's a creativity challenge for this week. Try using at least one of these techniques every day. Even 5 minutes of creative thinking can make a huge difference.
Want to learn more about creativity? We recommend the book Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, the TED Talk, How to Build Your Creative Confidence by David Kelly.
That's all for today. If you enjoyed our creativity adventure, don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
And leave us a review. Tell us which creativity technique you'll try first.
See you next week for more English learning fun.